Rolling with the triple C, I'ma make them bend the knee. Rolling with the triple C, don't really count the heat.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Bet Like a Gold. That's right, brought to you by the one and only BetOnline. Guys, International Fight Week is the most interesting fight card of the whole damn year. Let's get straight to it. The main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. This fight is interesting because you have the opposite styles of fighting and you have the opposite styles actually in height. You know, what is it that Yair's gonna bring to the table? Is gonna be a little bit different. And could Alexander Volkanovski, could he have that puzzle to be able to dismantle a style like Yair Rodriguez? A guy that likes to play the distance game, like a guy that likes to kick. You know, if you notice a lot in the past, the times that Volkanovski has gotten caught with certain things, they have been with either kicks or big time overhand right. Anyhow, guys, enough talk. Let's take it to the gym. So let's get straight to it. The main event, Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Guys, if there's anybody that could really bug out Volkanovski, it is Yair Rodriguez. What are the type of tools that he does have? You know what he does have? He's got kicks and he's got length on his kick. Being tall really doesn't matter with the hands. It matters more actually with the kicks. So I feel like if Yair Rodriguez could really come out and invest in chewing up that front leg and then eventually come in with maybe something more down the middle, I think that's more likely. The way he caught BJ Penn, or if you guys remember the way he caught him, it was kind of like a question mark. But either way, it was an up kick. Because sometimes with these kicks you could see, but with the ones that go up the middle, I would say that. Another thing that Yair Rodriguez more likely should be playing is playing that distance game. Frustrate Volkanovski. When Volkanovski gets hurt, Volkanovski gets closer, I'm out. Or I'm kicking. I'm pretty much just point fighting this guy. You know, there's a couple options to eventually maybe catch him up the middle with something big. He's done it with BJ Penn. If you watch a guy like Lyoto Machida, who has caught a guy like Vitor Belfort, you know what I mean? Like there's been a lot of guys with front kicks that they've been able to get away with it, just for the pure fact that it's the kick that you can least see. And if anybody really has that style that could catch him, it is somebody like Yair Rodriguez. And for the flip side, what is it that Volkanovski has to do? Volkanovski has to cover space. He has to cover space, and he has to throw. The more he gets Yair Rodriguez to play in the line of fire with him, the actual better probability that Volkanovski's going to have, because Volka's not only going to use his hands, but he's going to transition into his wrestling. So my prediction, guys, I'm going to have to go with the upset here. I know I've been wrong quite a bit lately, but you know what? I'm betting on this underdog. I'm betting on Yair Rodriguez either to point fight him, beat him by unanimous decision all 5 rounds, or maybe seeing that front kick up the middle for the eventual knockout. So you guys make sure to go place your bets at BetOnline.ag. And for the co-main event, that's right, Alex Pantoja versus Brandon Moreno. That's right, 3. A lot of you guys think this is the second time they fought. No, they fought 3 times. They fought on the Tough Show, Tough 24, 2016, and they eventually ended up fighting, I believe, 2018 or 2019, and then they're going to be fighting again, which is 2023. I mean, this is a rivalry that they've had that's about a 7-year-old rivalry, and they're finally going to put it to rest. Who is going to come out on top? Again, you have a guy like Alexander Pantoja, and you have a guy like Brandon Moreno. Brandon Moreno, who that train continues to keep rolling, and will that Mexican hype train continue to keep steaming over and beating people? And then you got Alexander Pantoja, a guy that wants to be a world champion. The styles of 2 different guys, a guy that has the Mexican style boxing and the guy that just knows how to brawl and has taken Brandon Moreno's soul in the past, not once, but actually twice. Anyhow, guys, enough talk. Let's take it to the gym. Let's get to our co-main event, Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Moreno. What are the keys for the underdog on this one? And believe it or not, the underdog is Alexander Pantoja, even though he has 2 wins over a guy like Brandon Moreno. Maybe the 3rd time is a charm, possibly, for Brandon. But I think the keys for a guy like Alexander Pantoja is he's got to create fights. He's got to create. The more he's able to do this with Brandon, the better. Because this is the way the last 2 fights have gone. To eventually Pantoja going in for his takedowns, possibly getting it from a good position and, you know, taking the back. And he's good at taking the back to eventually getting the submission. You know, I do believe that the more that Alexander Pantoja could create fights with Brandon Moreno, the better it's going to be for him, because that's where he has to take the fight. He has to mix it. He's got to get Pantoja to, he's got to get Brandon Moreno to continue to keep swinging, because this is where the person that has better takedowns, it is Pantoja. Look at the stats, look at the numbers, look at, maybe not body locks, I'm talking about legit takedowns from the upper body down. And these are some of the key factors that Alexander Pantoja needs to watch out with Brandon Moreno. Is sometimes he'll go for that double to eventually get you to react, to eventually find his body lock. Once he finds that body lock, this is when he's transitioning to take the back. This is when he's transitioning to take the back. So I think one of the biggest things is where Pantoja needs to watch out for Brandon is his body lock up top, or even close near the cage, or anything up the middle that has to do with any type of bear hugging, and his back take. And I think if Alexander Pantoja is able to control that, I like his odds. I like his odds against Moreno. My predictions for this fight is Pantoja. Pantoja, third time he puts a fork in it is because of this. Just toughness. There's dog in him, and it's hard. He may not be the nicest fighter. He may not be the slickest fighter, but the dude could actually fight. And there's a way that he fights that it works for him. And if it works for him, numbers don't lie. He's done it twice already. I know him personally, so I'm going to go with Pantoja for another upset. So you guys make sure to go to BetOnline.ag and place your bets. And now for the Coco main event. That's right, I said Coco. Don't get me wrong. Anyhow, Robert Whittaker versus Du Plessis, the South African king, the king of Africa. How is it that he's going to match up with a very experienced fighter, the former champ, and someone like Robert Whittaker, of him having 5 fights in the UFC? Is he ready for a guy like Robert Whittaker? Again, we heard in the past that he's been able to out-grapple Israel Adesanya the first time they met in Thailand. Is that all true? Anyhow, guys, enough talk. Let's take it to the gym. So for the heavy hitters, guys, I always have a heavy hitters. I'm going to have to go with none other than Robert Whittaker versus Du Plessis. First of all, let me say something. It's very courageous that the UFC is pushing Du Plessis, but there's just another level that Robert Whittaker's at, and if he proves me wrong, Du Plessis, I think he'll become the next champion. But I just don't think so. I think you have a better chance of beating Israel than a guy like Robert Whittaker. Why? It's because Robert's I think he's just better all around. He's tricky with that when he throws that right hand to eventually throw in that kick, or he'll do that blitz. He'll catch you there, and not just that, but he's really good. When these guys break base, he'll eventually start throwing up the middle, which makes him super dangerous in that area. So I've learned to kind of scout a little bit of more of Du Plessis. He only has 5 fights in the UFC. I noticed too that he gets pretty tired, man. He got pretty tired in that fight with Darren Till in that 3rd round. You know, you can see it in his demeanor. So for that reason, I think Robert Whittaker frustrates him with the leg kicks, frustrates him, maybe eventually landing a head kick for the TKO, or just winning it. But I see Robert Whittaker really. I see Robert Whittaker winning this by TKO. I really do, and I like Du Plessis. I've spoken to him at the UFC, but I gotta, this is my honest pick. I'm gonna have to go Robert Whittaker, just purely out of experience, just purely out of finesse. I think he's just better than Du Plessis in all areas, from grappling to striking to experience to MMA IQ. I feel like he has it all, but I'm gonna take it a whole nother level, and I have Robert Whittaker by TKO. So you guys make sure to place your bets at BetOnline.ag. And now for my quick hitters. That's right. I got 2 fighters that I just feel like you should absolutely bet the house. That's right. Jalen Turner versus Dan the Cheap Hooker. Guys, I got to go with Jalen Turner. The simple fact that the UFC set this up. I believe they see a future in Jalen Turner, even though he did lose his last fight to a guy like Garnman. And Garnman's one of the top 5 in the world. Anyhow, I just feel like stylistically, his style of fighting, he's unpredictable. He's got the length. He's got the tallest and the highest reach in lightweight history, going up against a guy like Dan. I just feel like sometimes the UFC, they try to build these young guys to beat a veteran name, and I just see it rocking that way. And the other pick that I have that tried Bo Nickal's opponent just dropped out, but it doesn't matter who he's going up against. He's going up against a newcomer. What's his name again, Michael?
Woodburn.
Yeah, Woodburn. I never heard of him. He's 7-0. He's supposedly he's pretty good, but if he doesn't have any wrestling, I'm gonna have to go. That's right, Bo Nickal by submission in the first or second round. But yeah, you know what? Let's bet the house. I got Bo Nickal in the first round, submission, whether it's a triangle choke, whatever that may be, but Bo Nickal by submissions. Guys, so these are all my bets right here, top left corner. So you guys make sure to go to BetOnline.ag and place all your bets. That's right. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C, and thank you guys for watching Bet Like a Goat, because you guys know we will always deliver. So you guys make sure to go to BetOnline.ag and place your damn bets. I'm out.